Oh, hello! Thanks so much for joining me for this video. I'm so excited to share this somatics practice with you. Somatics has been a game changer for me, helping me let go of tension that I didn't even know that I had. And then I've been finding with my practicing somatics before my yoga practice that I get so much more out of my yoga practice that way. And I feel so much more calm, centered, and also pain-free during my day. It's been the only thing that's consistently gotten rid of the low back pain that I often have first thing in the morning when I wake up. And I'm holding this book because this lesson that we're about to do, this short little series, is lesson 1 that comes from this book, Somatics by Thomas Hanna, which I would highly recommend. There's diagrams in here, the instructions are very clear to follow. There's 8 lessons taking you through different parts of the body. This series is all about releasing tension from the back of the body. So really big for low back pain. I hope you enjoy. We will begin together lying on our backs. I'm gonna move my book out of the way. And lie on back. If you can extend the legs long without too much discomfort, that's ideal. Arms just comfortably next to you. Just take a moment here to feel your body. So sometimes in yoga, we might avoid this position or always have something under the knees or have the knees bent, feet planted. But even if this is a little bit uncomfortable in the low back, which it is for some of us, even just for a moment here, I just want you to sense your body and notice what there is in your low back. Notice if it feels a little achy today or if not. And then for our first exercise, we'll bend the knees. Just placing the feet a comfortable distance away from your bum. And your arms can just rest wherever's comfortable. If you'd rather them be on the body, that's fine. And we're just going to start to rock the pelvis forward and back with your breath. As you're inhaling, you're going to tilt the pelvis forward, an anterior pelvic tilt. That's like you're creating more space between your low back and the floor, and you're almost trying to push your tailbone into the ground. You can see the arc in my back. When you exhale, I want you to push your low back into the floor as much as you can comfortably, almost like you're going to just barely lift your tailbone off of the floor. The rest of your body as you do this is relaxed. You're just letting it move, letting the neck move, letting the shoulders move in whatever way they want to follow the gentle pelvic tilting action that's going on. Whenever you're tilting the pelvis forward, I want you to really sense what's happening in the low back, sense the muscles of the low back, the contraction there, feel the belly expand. And then as you exhale, and you're pulling the low back into the floor, I want you to really feel the contraction of the belly. So feel those ab muscles helping you to draw everything in and push down. Every movement that we do in somatics is as much about training the brain as it is about training the body. And so what that means is that we're doing things as slowly as we can with as much awareness as we can. It's not just about, oh, these movements are beneficial. It's about doing these movements while feeling them, bringing a lot of awareness to them is beneficial. We start this little series by doing between 10 and 20 of these slow pelvic tilts with breath. And note that this movement should feel comfortable. So if for you the pelvic tilt needs to be a small movement, a much more subtle movement than what I'm demonstrating in order to feel comfortable, then that is perfect. That's exactly where you need to be. And if you notice as you do this that the movement feels a little bit jerky or a little bit shaky, which mine sometimes is, I find this sequence really potent and productive for me. If you're finding that, that's normal. That just means that this is really productive work for you and it's a good place for you to be working. Once you've done your 10 to 20, I invite you to relax your low back. Just notice where your pelvis settles when you have no effort in that mid part of the body. You might notice that your low back sits a little closer to the floor. Be curious about that. And as well, just take a moment to extend the legs and again, sense your back here. Sense your back whatever you're noticing, whether you still feel discomfort, whatever you notice is okay. We're just observing it. It's all part of the process. Now we'll flip onto our bellies. So I'm going to reposition myself so that I'm lying on my belly. And I'm going to start by, see, I've got my left arm bent, palm facing down, palm touching the floor. And then I've turned my head to the left and my cheek is resting on the back of my hand. My right arm is just resting alongside my body. And so for the lower body is just going to be relaxed. We're not trying to force any particular engagement with the lower body. It's just hanging out. With your breath now, as you inhale, lift your left elbow any amount off the floor that's comfortable. You're going to make the movement smooth and slow. As you exhale, gently relax the elbow down. As you're inhaling and lifting, feel the contraction of the back of the shoulder. Notice the effort. As you exhale, feel the progressive relaxation as the arm lowers and then you settle into the floor. 3 times total, so just one more repetition like this. Good, our next exercise is like the inverse. Elbow stays glued to the floor. Your cheek is going to be attached to the back of your hand, and as you inhale, lift your hand and lift your head as high as is comfortable. Exhaling, relax down. Again, we're going to do 3 total on this little exercise too. So with your breath, inhaling to lift, again, any amount that feels good. Exhaling to lower. And one more. Next, we're going to put those 2 together. As you inhale, the whole left forearm is going to lift. Your head is still attached to the back of your hand, lifting up any amount. Exhaling, you're lowering. Remember that all the movements in the sequence should feel comfortable. So if that means that you just lift a tiny bit off the floor, then that is the correct amount for you to lift today. One more time, lifting and lowering with breath. Inhale and exhaling. Upper body's going to relax for a second. Now we're turning our attention to the right leg, which I just gave a little wiggle to. As you next inhale, I want you to keep the right leg straight, but lift it any amount off the floor. As you exhale, relaxing it down. Try to go nice and slow and smooth. 2 more like that. Really sensing the contraction in the glute, in the hamstring, everywhere you feel effort, even up through the right side of the back. Good. Now we're going to combine the upper body movement and the lower body movement. Inhale to lift your right leg and lift the left forearm and the head. Exhale to lower slowly with control. Just 2 more like that. Last one. Wonderful. Take a moment here, let's take a breath or 2 to pause. Next, I'm just going to switch sides, switching arms. I'm going to just reposition myself so you can still see. And we'll start with the next side. So you're turning your head to the right. Your right palm is on the floor, your cheek is resting on the back of your hand, your elbows out to the side, and your left arm is just relaxed on the floor next to you. Inhale to lift your right elbow any amount off the floor. As you exhale, relax it down. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift elbow. Exhale, lowering, really sensing what's happening in the back of the shoulder. 1 more time. This time, elbow stays on the floor. Inhale, lift the hand and head together. Feeling the back. Exhale to relax. 2 more. Inhaling to lift, sensing the back body. Exhaling, relaxing, lowering. 1 more. Now combining those first 2, inhale, lift the whole forearm and the head. Exhaling to relax. 2 more. Last one, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Now relaxing the upper body, attention to the left leg. Inhale, lift your straight left leg any amount off the floor, just a couple inches. Exhale, lower it down. 2 more. Last one. And now combining the leg lift with upper body lift. Inhale, forearm, head, and left leg lifts. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. And one more. And lowering. Taking another moment here just to pause, consciously relaxing the back body. Next, we're going to bring both hands forward. I like to make a pillow with my hands, one on top of the other. So I've got my left elbow, my right elbow out to the side, on either side of me. I'm going to take my glasses off. You'll see why in just a moment. For this next one, our starting position is forehead resting on your hands, gaze down. As you inhale, I want you to lift your head to look up, only lifting the head as high as is comfortable, and lift the gaze so your eyes are searching up for the ceiling. As you exhale, look down and bring your forehead to the floor or to your hands. We'll do 6 total like that. So now we're on number 2, inhaling to lift the head, lift the gaze, really feeling how your low back will arch automatically. As you exhale and the head comes down, the back body lets go of some of that engagement, and so it comes back to more of a neutral position. Let's do 4 more with breath. One more. Inhaling to lift the head, lift the gaze. Exhaling to lower the head down. Good. Keeping the head, forehead on the hands. Gaze down. Inhale to lift your right leg. We'll do 3 lifts. Inhale, lift. Exhale to relax it down. 2 more like that. Always sensing the back body, sensing your low back as you do this. Good, once we've done 3 of those, we're going to add the head movement to the right leg lift. Inhale, lift the head, lift the gaze, and lift the right leg up. Exhale to lower the head gently and lower the leg gently. 2 more like that. Keeping the head on the hands now, let's lift just the left leg. Inhaling to lift any amount that's comfortable. Exhaling to lower with control. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. And then combining that with the head lift, inhaling to lift the head, lift the gaze, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower both. Feel the contraction in the back body, release. 2 more. Now just for 1 repetition, inhale, lift your head and lift both legs, even just a small amount off the floor. Exhale to slowly lower everything. And then I like to take a moment to let my head rest comfortably on the floor and just breathe for a second to my back. We're almost to the end of our little series. Our final position is lying on the back again. So you can sit yourself up, lying on your back. We'll have knees bent, feet planted. Again, just whatever's a comfortable distance from your seat. This time though, so we're gonna do the same kind of pelvic tilting we did at the beginning. If it helps you to take a moment just to find that rocking forward and back with the pelvis, you might find a couple of slow repetitions of that. When you're ready, we're going to add an element to this movement. You're going to take your hands behind your head. You could clasp them or just have the fingers behind the head. First, you're going to inhale to find that forward pelvic tilt, anterior pelvic tilt. Lift your low back away from the floor. Head is on the floor. You're feeling your low back arch. As you exhale, press your low back into the ground. Lift your head as high as is comfortable, elbows pointing forward. Push your low back into the floor. So it's the same pelvic tilting, but on the posterior pelvic tilt, we're also lifting the head. I like to feel like my hands are helping a little bit, but I'm also feeling effort in my neck flexors to lift my head. So it's both. It's not that the head is totally passive and we're moving it, and it's not that the hands aren't allowed to do any work. They're working with the head and neck to lift it off the ground. So I'm inhaling, arching the back, exhaling, pushing the low back into the ground like I want to lift my tailbone, and I'm lifting my head forward any amount that's comfortable. I've lost track of how many I've done, but do about 6 of this movement. So I'm going to do 2 more after this one. Always with breath, really sensing, or on the exhale, really sensing the front body contraction. On the exhale, sensing the front body relaxation and the back body contraction. Good, and then once you have done your 6, you can lower your head down, relax your arms to your sides, straighten the legs long again. So this is our starting position where we first notice the body. And so it's nice to come back here, certainly to reset, and then also to sense your body. Feel your back. After you do this the first time, you've taken a lot of information, maybe you're not noticing a huge change since when you did it at the beginning. If you're like me, maybe you are noticing a huge change. My low back feels way different. I feel much more relaxed, and I feel almost no pain in my low back. Somatics work is deep work, even though it feels like, oh, this is very gentle. We're retraining the brain, retraining the nervous system to not be so habitually tight, but actually to let the muscle contract fully and relax fully. And so because of that, it is really worthwhile to spend at least a minute or 2 here, lying in stillness, just resting. After this video comes to an end, please feel welcome to take all the time you need to lie in whatever position would feel comfortable, and just take a moment to integrate this work. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your first lesson of somatics from the Somatics book, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day.